Travis Wayne gives on. From the family proclamation, near the end, by divine design, fathers are to preside over their families in love and righteousness. And then mothers are involved with all that emotions, nurture of children. Now, the church is under fire for patriarchal abuse, in which this divine pattern is causing lots of problems in marriage. I remember as a kid growing up, both my parents were born in the covenant. Both my parents served missions, which is rare for my mom to have served a mission. And when they would get into a disagreement with each other, my dad would always pull the religion card so that he would win the argument, regardless of whether my mom thought she was right. And that's the way marriages were. And for you youngins who went through the temple post 1991 or post 2019, you are unfamiliar with what was previously in the temple covenants. And women in the law of obedience were to obey their husband. Obey. In 1991, Benson, who was pretty much running the church because, Benson took over as the president in the Solemn Assembly in 1986 because of the Youth of the Noble Birthright and the Aaronic Priesthood meeting of his Solemn Assembly conference. Yeah, so he was president of the church. He changed it so that women then hearkened unto the counsel of their husband. Well, wait a minute. Benson put women in charge? Women now preside? Men are just the counselors? Although my first wife joked about with her mom that she wore the pants in the family. Not funny, because that too, even if you switch the roles and role reversal, causes problems in marriage. In section 107, verse 22, and of course you guys know Nelson's change, so that women no longer obey their husband, they no longer take counsel from their husband. They go straight to Jesus. But in section 107, verse 27, every decision made by either of these quorums, so background, context, in the Joseph Smith papers, it informs us that Joseph Smith had given licenses to the men who he called to be a part of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles and the 70 that were assigned to the traveling Quorum of Apostles. And that's different. There was another 70 group that was a different function than the missionary 70. And so this church doesn't teach us anything about that. But this is who he's talking to. And so he's saying that in all of the quorums, not just the two that he's assigning here and speaking with, but in all of them, verse 21, he mentions that all quorums are to follow this pattern of having one president for each quorum, and that are voted, actual vote, by the quorum members. It's a bit different than the way it's practiced these days, isn't it? And so every decision made by a quorum must be unanimous. Every member must be agreed to its decisions in order to make their decisions of the same power, validity one with another. And so, what's the administrative structure of the family then? Well, how many presidents does the 70 have? 7, right? Yeah, there's 7 presidencies, 7 presidents in the presidency. And is that the only? Well, it was not if Joseph Smith had died and everybody followed his instructions in verse 22. So for the presidency of the church, after Joseph Smith dies, Joseph Smith tells us how succession is supposed to be done. Nobody did it. Brigham Young did it according to his manner of being the president of the 12. That's why we have it the way we do in the Brighamite Church. But of the Melchizedek priesthood, so not just a presidency quorum, the whole Melchizedek priesthood with all of the quorums. 3 presiding high priests. Oh, not counselors? So they can still have counselors. Joseph Smith talks in another chapter about how a president can have 2, and Joseph Fielding Smith Sr. was a stickler on 2. But you can have more counselors if you want, but they are counselors, not presidents. But this is why this church does 3 presidents, but only 2 are counselors, is because of this. But it's supposed to be actual 3 presidents, chosen by the body. Oh, an actual vote by the whole Melchizedek priesthood, appointed and ordained to that office, form a quorum of the presidency of the church. And so the first presidency and the 70, the 70 can have 7 presidents. The first presidency, 3 presidents, once Joseph is gone. And this never was done, was it? So, women, you all know about March 17th, 1842. Have you ever bothered to look it up in the Joseph Smith papers? I've gone over it with you. I've done the videos. Oakes says no. Let's see if I can find it here. 17 March 1842. We're at 8 minutes already. YouTube employee, if he's working tonight, is going to really stick it to me. President Smith further remarked that an organization to show them how to work would be sufficient. He proposed, hearken unto the council, that the sisters elect a presiding officer to preside over them, and let that presiding officer choose 2 counselors to assist in the duties of her office, that he would ordain them to preside over the society, and let them preside just as the presidency preside over the church. And if they need his instruction, ask him. He will give it to him from time to time. If any officers are wanted to carry out the designs of the institution, let them be appointed and set apart as, so not only Melchizedek priesthood authority as the first presidency, deacons, teachers, and etc. He's saying the women's organization are a priesthood office with priesthood authority that can be both Melchizedek and Aaronic priesthood. 11-year-old girls? Does Nelson change the date to 11? Passing the sacrament? Exactly. Though in these days they were adults. But Oak says no. It's not the divine design. And it never will be. And so if a woman is a Melchizedek priesthood holder with their husband, who is a Melchizedek priesthood holder, how many presidents are in the family quorum? It's that simple. But this church will never allow it.